This is Misty with the Manamal Streaming Radio, and I'm speaking with Will from the Adarna. Thank you for joining us, Will. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thank you very much for asking. We're going to go ahead and jump right into the questions today. And my first question to you really is where it all started. What got you into music?
I think what got me, I guess I can only really talk from my personal perspective. But for me, I was first really quite intrigued with music because I'd listened to my brother playing piano. He was a kid. He was awesome. And what got me into it was basically I started during a theater production. We got a lot of downtime, and during that, and I just kind of, he's like, "Hey, you want to learn how to play guitar?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's try it out." And I loved it right away. I was terrible, but I loved it. So that kind of got me started. I'm like, you know what? I'm so bad, and I love it so much. I'm going to try it. And so it kind of became the whole starting point from there.
And do you play any other instruments other than the guitar?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you play any other instruments other than the guitar?
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I was just going through a bad area.
That's okay.
Yeah, I play a little bit of piano. I play bass and guitar and sing, and mostly just kind of dabble on a little bit of everything. It starts to, I try to be a multi-instrumentalist if I can, but my number one and primary instrument has been vocals in the Adarna.
And you are very good at that.
Hey, thank you.
I appreciate it. Now, you said your brother was into music. What about any other family members?
Well, my father was a drummer for, in the, I think it was like a marching band or just band for the school. And so he was drawn towards rhythm. And he told me not to do that because he was beating on everything all the time. So, he'd drum on everything that he could touch. And he was like, I don't want my son to be like that. My mother would play piano as well and sing kind of. It wasn't the greatest at singing, but it was mom singing, and you love mom just the same.
Of course.
Like, yeah, Mom, you could sing it like that. That works. But I'm half Filipino, and so in the Philippines, everybody sings a lot. That's very much part of the culture, but very musical kind of group of people. It tends to be that the men are actually pretty decent singers, so I've been pretty impressed with that. So,
that's awesome.
That's how I kind of got it.
Now, I read that you're also a vocal coach. How do you manage to balance the band and teaching?
You did find out about that. Yeah, I'm a voice instructor as well, and that is an awesome question because I can tell you that it's not an easy thing. The hardest part is because when you are focused on someone else's craft, you're not focused on your own. But if you only focus on your craft, you never actually learn about new things about yourself. I mean, my students teach me so much about singing just by watching them. I watch them struggle and I go, oh yeah, I see what you're struggling with. I struggle with that too. Let's try to figure out a way. And through coaching them, it's actually improved my voice as well. So that's, it's great. Good find. I didn't think anybody would know that. Yeah.
I did some homework.
All right.
What are your hobbies? Like, do you have any hobbies outside of, the band?
You're already got much. These are great questions. Let's see, hobbies. I watch really, really bad action films and martial arts films, so I love that. That's kind of like on tour. That's how we blow up. Basically, when we're trying to unwind after playing a big show, we all, in our bunks we're watching movies, and I look at things like Chronicles of Riddick, that's like awesome. Like, what a great film! I love this. But it's most of the time, if it's not watching films, I'm a swimmer, so I swim a lot. Gives me a lot of time to think. That's kind of the main hobbies. Music is my main thing that I focus on. But I find that I have the room to be artistic in everything that I do. It doesn't just extend to music. there's ways to be artistic in, you know, the way that you arrange a room, or the way that you you do small tasks like chores and stuff. There's art to be found in that. So there's a lot of room and a lot of outlets for me to express myself.
Well, that's always nice to have, though. I mean, you have to have a little bit of a break, even though it's something that you love to do. You know, you have to kind of step away from things for a little bit.
You know, I've been trying to look for this article, and I read it a long time ago. I saw about this famous painter, and he needed a way to kind of break from constantly painting and feeling, you know, self-criticizing himself and make it really hard. So what he would do for a few hours a day is he would dig a tunnel. And there was no purpose to the tunnel. It was just to dig a tunnel to have a tunnel. And he'd dig it under his house. But the relief in focusing on kind of a simple action gave his mind time to take a break from being creative and wander into really natural places, so that when he did come back to the palette, you know, and when he did come back to the canvas, he could actually draw from a lot. You know, sometimes just turning off the mind and, you know, kind of hanging out in the blank space is quite awesome. You know,
most definitely.
So I think that's
recharging your batteries.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Recharging your batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Okay, now back to the band stuff. Do you ever really get nervous before you perform?
If there's a good enough size crowd, it does kind of yank at it. But we've been, you know, at the old nervous tension. But the band's been doing this for a while, so, you know, we played quite a few hundred shows together, and then I played in previous bands as well. So nerves don't really factor into it as much. It's different, I feel like, when you're working with a team. You know, I think the most terrifying thing would be like a comedian or somebody who just has to go up on the stage by themselves, like a solo act, because it's just really on you. And if something goes terribly wrong, you can't hide.
Right.
But I'm going there with my ensemble, with my team, and we're rehearsed and we have a product to present, and we're proud of it. And it's, as long as we have done our homework and we've worked at it, I think, and we believe in the music, then I don't see how we can go wrong. And so I have faith in my team, and so as a result, I see it being much more awesome.
That's great, though. I mean, that to have the strength with your band behind you, because I know a lot of bands, at least lately for me, there just kind of seems to be a disconnect, and they don't really have the chemistry. But listening to you guys, to me, you can sense the chemistry right away.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, that was actually, when we formed the band was formed out of quite a really unconventional way. Most of the time, I don't know if you've ever gone to audition for a band, or I think you mentioned you had a son. You have a son. If he's ever auditioned for a band, it's kind of this weird process where you meet with people and then you just kind of see if anything sticks, and then do we like each other? Can we hang out with each other? And, you know, you talk about about your dreams and what you're trying to do, but it's mostly you're seeing if you jive as musicians, you know, the music that you create together, is it cool? That wasn't our goal at all. So when I first started this, I knew I was looking for a personality type and not actually a musician. So when I first started meeting with musicians, I just wanted to know if I could be around you for like a solid 3 months and not want to kill you. That's really just all I wanted. I figured and, you know, I didn't want somebody who just you know, I just play guitar and that's all I do and I don't do anything else. I wanted people with multiple skills, and so they have different colors they can bring in, you know, of their own personality. So, you know, it was really kind of like, what are your hobbies? What do you do? You know, what for fun? You know, these are important. How do you have friends? You go and hang out. And if it was kind of a bit of a really great guitarist, but a kind of a wet fish, you're like, yeah, you know, it might not be a good personality thing. You know, we kind of have a good test for our band whenever we're meeting people, is we ask people like, you like to camp? And I'm like, do you like to go camping? And I don't know, do you like to go camping?
Yes, I like. is your favorite song you've done and why?
Well, of the music that we've released at this point, I think I really love, I think Superman and Sugar are two of my favorite songs to play. Those two. I think we see a lot of people really identifying with them. Sugar's got this really kind of slinky kind of sexy feel about it, which is, it's got a cowbell. Who doesn't love cowbell? You know, that's a really awesome song to play. Normally everybody starts cheering as soon as we play the first few riffs, even if they've never heard the song before. There's just such a good pocketed groove. Superman, I feel like I've heard a lot of really positive stories from people who have come to see our shows before, and we've heard some really nice things about how much that song means to them. And as a result, it kind of gets us, of course, amped and excited to perform the song, because we're like, hey, I know that people love you, so let's get your laugh and do the song. So it's been those two, but I'm really excited about, for our new album, there's some music that we have not yet released yet, and that will be coming out in July. And there's a song called Get to the Gab that I'm ecstatic about. I'm just freaking out right now, man. So I really, really identify with it. I really like it. It combines some elements of rock and roll I had not really heard before. And I'm just so pumped about it. That's one of the ones I'm really excited about.
And you said the name of the album is Road to Resonance?
Road to Resonance. Coming out in July.
Oh, in July. Okay. That's great to hear, for sure. We did have one of our group members ask a question, and they asked if they were to turn on your iPod right now, what 5 artists or songs would they find on your recently played list?
On my recently played list, okay. I am a big. I do mostly the streaming stuff. So I'm like a big Spotify user. So I listen to that music nonstop. So basically, if somebody says something to me like, you should check out I'll put that on my list and I'll start listening. So today I checked out, I was listening to some Cajun music from, I like New Orleans jazz. So sometimes I like to listen to that. Listening to that. No specific song, just kind of like a generic playlist. I listened to Ricky Martin's latest, his 2015 album. That was really strange, but it was cool. It was nice. He's still around, so that's fun to listen to. I was listening to. I love listening to Filter. I think it's just a rad band, and his newer stuff right now is just as angry as his older stuff, and I get so jacked listening to them. And let's see here. Any more specifics? I was listening to some. I'm just trying to think about the last few songs that came in my head. I was listening to the big Spotify playlist. But if you're a Spotify listener and you go to the Adarna's page, I will post playlists of everything we're listening to, because I don't miss mixtapes. Don't you miss mixtapes?
Oh, absolutely.
God, I love them. They were so cool. I felt like you learned so much about a person by either what they thought of you or what's important to them. Because they're like, here's a bunch of colors of songs that I really like, and I'm like, man, you've got some really interesting songs that you listen to. Where I'm like, you're only comfortable with top 40 radio.
Right.
so it's super wild. And I miss mixtapes. I wish I could always listen to other people's mixtapes, so that's part of the reason I like Spotify, so I can listen to other people's mixes. I'm
a Spotify girl myself. I love it. I have, but I'm an 80s hairband girl, like for the most part, but I really enjoy the newer stuff now, because that's kind of been something that I've been kind of taking the lead on with the station, the new generation, and I'm learning so much, it's just, I can't believe there's that much good talent out there that is so reminiscent of what we had back in the 80s or even the 90s, So there's a lot of, and you guys, you guys are going to be big. You're awesome. I just think your music's amazing.
Thank you. That's really nice of you to say.
I do have,
we're excited.
you should be, as you should be. What advice would you give people who want to start a band?
And that's a good question. I would say, if it's a group of people like wanting to start, that's one thing. I mean, if you're like, hey, I want to take this more seriously, I think laying out your goals and in a very realistic timeline would be smart. Like what drives the band, what makes you feel like it's worth it, and say like give yourself a 5-year goal and say, do you reach those goals? But if you're just starting out and you want to find people, like it's just you. If you're not in school, which is where it's super easy because they're literally everywhere. There's kids everywhere all around you. I mean, you kind of got to be brave and get out there. There's things like open mics you can go to. They're everywhere. You can still use the Craigslist, and there's normally musicians networks over on Facebook that work. I know some people use Bandmix. It just depends on. It depends on it, but I find that if you don't get yourself out there and try to meet people, nothing can happen. But one surefire way that you can always bet that you will find people is if you're good at your craft, people will find you. And I find the best way to get good at your craft is taking lessons. So take lessons and go to shows. That's the bigger thing. All right, that's my number one thing. If I had to summarize everything I just said, go to local shows. Just go to local shows. You will meet all kinds of people, and they play music, and you're going to meet people that you like. And you might even find people who don't play music, but they want to learn. And they'll be super fun to work with.
I just want to thank Will from the Adarna for joining us today and answering all of our interview questions. And keep in mind that their new album, Road to Resonance, will be out this July. Check it out.